Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Driving Efficiency in CRO Bioanalysis, Faster Insights, Stronger Compliance, Greater Sponsor Confidence. In today's session, we'll explore how contract research organizations can optimize their work in bioanalysis to deliver results faster, maintain rigorous compliance standards, and build greater trust with sponsors. My name's Helen Bravo. I'm the Solutions Consulting Director at IDBS, and I'll be your facilitator for today's webinar. Now, it's my pleasure to hand things over to Elise Azar, our presenter for today's session. Elise?
Thank you, Helen. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Elise Azar, and I'm a Senior Solutions Consultant here at IDBS. I'm very excited today to walk you through how IDBS Polar helps CROs tackle real business challenges, from operational bottlenecks to compliance and efficient study delivery. Polar is a broad enterprise informatics platform with extensive capabilities. But for today's session, we'll be looking specifically at the BioA Study Report app, one of our Polar Insight apps, and show you how deeply it can transform day-to-day operations in BioA. So with that, let's tap into the world of CROs and explore the challenges they face and how Polar changes that story. CROs are the scientific engines behind new therapies, running bioanalytical assays, generating study data, and delivering the results that sponsors depend on to move their programs forward. But today's reality is tough. CROs are under intense pressure to deliver faster, stay compliant, and maintain sponsor confidence, all while operating with shrinking margins. For most study teams, that pressure shows up in a few familiar ways: manual reviews and fragmented handoffs, no single real-time view of study status, reassays that are hard to quickly isolate, and constant sponsor follow-ups that heighten audit anxiety. How often does this happen in your organization? Weekly, monthly, or almost every study? What happens when these challenges start to compound? Let's step into the shoes of a study director at a leading CRO I recently spoke with. Every day, his scientists are juggling multiple studies, like dozens of analytical runs and demanding sponsor timelines. But then, delays start to creep in. Data aggregation takes days. Visibility is limited. Reassays pile up. And that hits QA review, report delivery, and ultimately sponsor trust. Each delay pushes milestone payments further. It slows down revenue recognition and quietly chips away at reputation, the true currency in this market. So because in the CRO world, sponsors talk, one missed delivery or delayed report can easily mean the next project goes to a competitor. So the big question we'll explore today is, how can CROs break this cycle of manual handoffs, limited visibility, and reassay delays, and rebuild sponsor confidence through efficiency, compliance, and insight? This is where IDBS Polar completely changes the story. The BioA Study Report app, part of our Polar Insight, gives study directors instant visibility into their BioA operations. Right from the moment the dashboard opens, the director can see exactly where all analytical runs stand, their current status, how long each has been in progress, and where bottlenecks are forming. The study director no longer needs to chase updates, send endless emails, or schedule multiple status meetings. And the power doesn't even stop there. He can drill down directly into any phase. For example, if something stalls in tech review, and he can instantly see what's happening within that run across assays and across samples. This transforms the way CROs operate, from reactive firefighting to proactive insight. So, how does the study director actually use this in his daily work? Let's go on a tour with him. So, let's follow the study director as he investigates what's going on. He's been hearing that one of his assay runs has completely stalled. It's blocking the sponsor's ability to meet their internal milestones, and clinical trial deadlines are fast approaching. So, he opens the study report dashboard. What's the first thing he sees? A bar sitting there at 57.5 days. Something's clearly wrong, right? So he clicks on it and immediately sees that everything was on track until tech review. That's where things started to stall. Now he needs to find out why. And here's where Polar truly shines. From this dashboard, he can jump straight into the runs record in Polar, right into the workflow where it was executed. This means everything he sees here is built on a foundation of compliance and data integrity. Every chart, every KPI, and every result comes directly from the Polar BioA workflows. No manual re-entry, no copy-paste risk, just the same data that's been securely captured, reviewed, and fully 21 CFR Part 11 compliant. So bottom line, with Polar, you always know who did what, when, and why. Real-time oversight from a single source of truth. Next in his investigation, the study director moves into the study sample view dashboard. This is where he can start drill deeper to really understand what's happening to the samples as they are being tested. Right away, the key KPIs at the top tell him something important. 3 samples had to be reassayed. So now he's starting to connect the dots. Why were these 3 reassayed, and how might that be affecting the tech review delays he just saw earlier? In the table below, he can view detailed information for every sample, including status across runs, review progress, and linked assay data. And through the simple but powerful summary on the left, he notices that all the 3 of these reassays are coming from group 1. That's a critical insight because now he can trace the issue to a specific subset of subjects instead of treating it as a study-wide problem. So using Polar's interactive filtering, he can instantly isolate those subjects and focus the investigation on just the impacted data. This level of drill down gives the study director more than just visibility. It gives control and turns troubleshooting into decision making. So now that he has identified the affected samples, the next step is to compare results. And that's where the sample comparison view comes in. Here he can directly compare the calculated concentrations of the reassayed samples to quickly spot discrepancies, outliers, or emerging trends across runs. This comparison not only highlights potential analytical issues, but also helps validate data consistency, ensuring the integrity of results before they move forward to reporting. So in short, it's a powerful step that turns raw results into insight, reinforcing both scientific confidence and operational compliance before the final report is generated. Then comes the concentration summary dashboard, where the study director monitors concentration levels over time across his studies. It's broken down by subject, and he can analyze how reassays have influenced those values. So in the table below, he can quickly find the mean calculated concentration for each sample, with reassayed samples clearly highlighted in blue, providing instant visibility into how data quality is evolving through the study. And from here, he can export the results in just a few clicks. Whether it's an image to share by email, an Excel file for further analysis, maybe, or my favorite, a PowerPoint summary that can be sent directly to the sponsor. And that's how 99% of deliverables are shared in the contract research world. And now it only takes seconds. So with 2 clicks, he has met his milestone, delivered to the sponsor, and maintained full traceability and compliance. So that's not just efficiency, that's credibility. The sponsor's confidence grows, and with that, new studies and new opportunities follow. That's really the power of Polar. A platform that scales with your growth, keeps your data compliant, and helps you deliver results faster with the confidence that every number, every reassay, and every decision is fully traceable. Finally, to close the loop on his investigation, the study director can move into the exceptions summary view. Here he gets a consolidated snapshot of all exceptions across the study. Things like failed runs, delayed reviews, or samples that required reassay. This summary provides immediate insight into where and why delays are occurring, helping him address root causes before they impact reporting timelines. It's also invaluable for QA and regulatory review, right? Giving auditors and sponsors a clear, traceable record of every deviation and its resolution. In other words, this dashboard turns exceptions from hidden bottlenecks into managed documented actions, reinforcing compliance and transparency across the whole process. And when you combine this with other insights we've just seen, from sample visibility to concentration monitoring to reporting, that's the full picture of how Polar transforms CRO operations. Real-time oversight, audit-ready workflows, faster sponsor delivery, and scalable performance built on a compliant foundation. When we zoom out to the bigger picture, this is exactly what the Polar platform was built for. It connects every part of the lab loop, from planning and execution to review and insight, in a single compliant environment. One platform that unifies experimental data, process data, and product data, giving teams real-time visibility and complete AI-ready insights. And for CROs, that means faster reporting, better QA, and increased compliance confidence, all while scaling effortlessly to meet growing study demands. And these metrics you see here aren't projections. These are real customer results. This is the measurable impact Polar has delivered. 80% faster reporting, 75% QA time saved, 60% less compliance activity time, and 50% shorter study cycle times. That's the power of Polar, turning complex, regulated bioanalysis operations into streamlined, auditable, and scalable processes that drive both scientific and business growth. With that, let's move to the Q&A session. So, Helen, what is our first question for today?
Thank you, Elise. Thank you for walking us through how Polar adds value to CRO organizations, particularly in bioanalysis. Let's start with our first question. Many CROs already have systems in place for sample tracking and reporting. What makes the Polar BioA Study Report different?
Yeah, that's a great question actually, and one we hear a lot. So most systems today are siloed, right? One for data capture, another one for analysis, and another one again for reporting. Polar is different because it connects all of that in one compliant environment. The BioA Study Report we just saw doesn't just visualize data, it directly reflects live data captured already in the Polar workflows. That means no manual exports and no data duplication and no spreadsheets. The result is faster, it's traceable, and It's sponsor-ready reporting. And for CROs, that translates into real business value. As mentioned, faster milestone payments, reduced QA burden, and stronger sponsor confidence.
Very good. Thank you, Elise. For question number 2, how does Polar ensure compliance and data integrity across these reports, especially under GXP conditions?
So, how Polar ensures compliance and data integrity? Yeah, compliance is built into the core of Polar, right? It's not added on top. So, um, every data point visualized in the BioA Study Report is traceable back to its origin in a validated workflow with full audit trails, electronic signatures, and 21 CFR Part 11 compliant records, which means CROs can at any time demonstrate exactly who did what, when, and why, which is essential for those regulatory inspections. And because Polar supports both GXP and non-GXP contexts, teams can operate efficiently without compromising integrity. And I think this answers the question.
Thank you, Elise. And for question number 3, you mentioned real customer results, 80% faster reporting and 75% QA time saved. How are these metrics achieved in practice?
Yes. So these aren't projections, right? As I mentioned, they're actual measurable results from our customers. And the key driver is automation. Polar removes the manual steps that slow everything down. So the data flows directly from acquisition to reporting. So the QA reviews are faster because the information is now centralized and it's audit ready. So we've got audit by exception, so flagging deviations and exceptions in real time. And the communication with sponsors is also seamless. So the combination of standardized workflows, built-in compliance, and real-time visibility is what drives those measurable outcomes.
Thank you, Elise. At this point, I don't have additional questions. I do invite the audience, if they have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or any comments or feedback on today's presentation. And if nothing else, this is recorded, so you can certainly watch it again and share it as needed. We do want to thank you for your time. With that, Elise, do you have any final closing remarks?
Yes, sure. So I just want to thank everyone again for joining today. And I hope this session gave you a clear view of how Polar can simplify BioA operations and accelerate steady delivery. And I look forward to any follow-up conversations as well. Thank you so much.
There is one question that just came in, Elise.
Sure.
Let me open up the chat and read it for the benefit of the audience. Could you elaborate a little more on the sample management process in Polar? Does it track sample from receipt to usage directly in Polar? Does it pull data from LIMS, such as Watson?
Sure. So we do have integration with Watson LIMS, and through this integration, we can all the data that is captured there can be seamlessly integrated into Polar and brought there. And once all this information is brought from the data backbone to Polar, we can visualize it in the BioA app or in any other app, right? So the most important thing is the data to be captured. The integration is we have very good integration with Watson. We've done it many times before, and once we have all the data in the data backbone, we can simply visualize it in any way that, or we can have the scenario that we want and just visualize the data and compare it and analyze it.
Thank you, Elise. And just to briefly recap, the simplest term is yes, we can track the sample from its receipt through its usage, right? We track the execution of what was done to that sample, and certainly we can pull data from the LIMS, such as Watson's. So the next question is, how does Polar extract the reassay information? Is it linked with Watson? At least if I can take this one, if the integration is with Watson, we can certainly query that information in. If there is no Watson integration, then the data would be captured within Polar. I hope that addresses your questions. And if you're interested in a deeper dive in any of these topics, we'd love to connect with you and have a dedicated session on Polar, and whether it's sample management, integration with Watson, or a deeper dive into what Elise presented today. And I do see something else. Give me one more second just to verify. I did believe there's another. No, we did address that question from the chat. Great. Great to see the interaction. Going once, going twice. Again, thank you again. Do connect with us. We'd love to hear from you and circle back on any other questions that may come up.
Thank you, everybody.
With that, have a wonderful day. Thank you.